Welcome to the Wellness in Every Season of Motherhood podcast, where we explore what it means to achieve total wellness. I am your host, Autumn Carter. This podcast is geared more towards mothers, but we try to be inclusive of all here as we learn together to get us out of survival mode and into thriving during life transitions.
This is episode 8. Welcome, Wellness Wanderers. We are excited to have you here with us today as we explore the topic of financial wellness. Our guest, Stacy Litchfield, is a seasoned accountant with almost 30 years of experience in the field. Stacy will share her personal journey with us and how she discovered the importance of financial wellness in her life from being on both ends of the financial wellness spectrum. We'll also discuss the connections between financial wellness and other dimensions of wellness, and how neglecting financial wellness can have adverse effects on our overall well-being. Stacy will provide us with valuable insights on how to improve our financial wellness and establish a budget that works for us. This episode is sure to be informative and helpful for anyone looking to enhance their financial well-being, so stay tuned. Today on our podcast, we have a highly skilled and experienced accounting professional joining us, Stacy Litchfield. Stacy took accounting courses in high school, earning several college credits in the subject. After spending 14 years managing the office of a Chevy dealership, she took time off to earn a bachelor's degree in accounting while raising children. From there, she worked as an accountant at another car dealership for 4 years before taking another break for medical reasons and starting up her own business breeding sugar gliders called Infinity Gliders. She is currently an accounts receivable manager and accountant specialist, business owner, and helps friends and family organize their finances. With such a diverse range of experience and a wealth of knowledge in the field of accounting, our guest is sure to provide us with valuable insights today. Welcome, Stacy. Why do you think financial health is important?
Financial health has many aspects in your life. It is one of the basis of every aspect of your life, from living to your health to just everything. Your financial health reflects onto your physical and mental health in many ways, with stressors and everything like that. Financial health also lingers in other aspects of your life. If your financial health is poor in one set, it can reflect in others, like credit loans. And financial health is just the basis of everything in life. A lot of people just don't realize that.
Do you want to give kind of a background of why this is important to you? Just tell about where you've come from financially. Maybe that will help give our listeners a better understanding.
Oh boy. Yeah. I've been on both spectrums of financial health. I have been, as what a lot of people call paycheck to paycheck living, and could barely put food on my family's dinner table and would literally live from paycheck to paycheck. Was so happy that tomorrow was payday that I could get some groceries or pay this bill. Used to have bill collectors. I used to be so scared to go check the mail because I knew there was going to be something in there to say, hey, you're past due on this, you're past due on this. I was a single mother for many, many years. And I know a lot of people say, oh, that's not hard. A lot of people do it. Yeah, a lot of people do it. And it's always hard. And after years of fighting and getting the right partner that contributes to our financial health, we are now sitting blessed, extremely blessed. I no longer scared to go check the mail because I know that there's not going to be any past dues in there. And it's the stress level alone is unimaginable. Just that in itself, being able to financially secure your family, not having to worry about where you're going to get your next meal, or being able to stretch $50 in the grocery store to last you a week, to being able to decide, oh, I think I'm going to have steak one day and treat everybody. Yeah, it's an extreme blessing to be able to understand both ends of the spectrum, from living paycheck to paycheck to living comfortably, because financial health is just the basis of life.
I know that it's been important enough for you that you went back and you now have a degree in accounting.
Yes, I went and finished my degree in accounting. I actually started my college degree in high school. When I finally went back to college, when I met my husband, my present husband, I went back to college. Well, I went to college and I found out that I had multiple college credits already that I actually got in high school because I was advanced in high school. And in my 11th and 12th grade year, I actually took college courses. So I had a multitude of credits already. And when I went back, I ended up finishing a bachelor's degree in, oh my God, it was less than 2 years. That's how many credits I had.
I didn't realize it was that fast for you. Wow. That's amazing. I bet that was a huge burden lifted off because you were still in a financially precarious situation.
Oh, absolutely. I was not working at all right then. It was just my husband at the time supporting all of us. And I, luckily, I was so good with money. I've always been good with money. And I was able to pinch that penny, as they call it, till it screams. And once our youngest child got on the bus, literally, I put him on the bus at 8:30 to go to school, and by 10 o'clock I was at a temp agency applying for a temp job because I just needed to get out. I could not stand being in the house anymore. I needed the interaction and I needed money. I understand my husband used to always say, it's our money, but it's in the back of my head, I always knew it was not my money. That was his money that he earned, and I needed my own money. For a wonderful example, when his birthday would come up and I would want to buy him a birthday present, I would be using his money to buy him a present. That was just wrong on every level. I needed my own money that I could say, I bought him a present. Just little things like that drove me crazy. And I just had to go out. And even if it was a temp job, just to get a little bit of money in so that I could have something that was actually my own. One of the most things about financial stability is job stability. I've seen so many times where people will jump from job to job to job to job, and that that just counteracts your financial stability. I am the kind of person that I need to be in a job, be steady in a job, steady with paychecks, and gonna understand and know where my next paycheck's coming, how much it's gonna be. And when you jump from job to job, it's you don't build a rapport with your employer to let them see how valuable you are because you haven't been there long enough. Each one of my jobs, I went in as a temp. My second and third job, I went in as a temp for, it was only supposed to be 2 weeks. And I was at them for years. They bought my contracts out and kept me. That's how good I was.
And you still are. And you did not mention that when you were not working and healing your body is when you started up your own company that you are still doing.
Oh, yes. It actually was a hobby. It was only something to pass the time because I was stuck at home and I just needed something to do. There's only so much you could clean in a house. There's only so much laundry you can do. I was just running out of things to do. So I just got this hobby of, I got myself a pet, some sugar gliders. Started off with two. Now I range between my low end is 25 and my high end the most I've ever had, I believe was around 50 or so. And the first time that I had a sugar glider baby, he told me that I was at my limit. He said I could not have any more. That was my limit. I needed to sell one. And I was like, okay. Well, I was already bonded to all the older ones. So I sold the baby. And as soon as it turned 8 weeks, I had it sold in hours. The people were here like a day or two later for $800. My husband's like, "Oh my God, you can sell them that quick for that much." I said, "Yeah, they're exotic pets. They can go quick." And he just put his hands up and said, "Get as many as you want." And now it's blown up into a business.
Not only that, you are so good at what you do that you have people on your waiting list for years and you also rescue them.
Yes, I don't get very many, but I am the only local rescue. The next one is states and states away, but they're such wanted animals. It's not very often that I do get rescues, but I do get them. Like California, you enter California with one of those, you go to jail, do not pass go, do not collect $200. You go right to jail. And a couple of our customers are military, and that's how we got the first rescue. They ended up getting sent to California for the military, and they're illegal out there. So they contacted me and explained the situation. I was like, not a problem, bring them back. I will take care of them. And it just ended up going from there where I contacted the USDA, got the rules and regulations on that because that was my first time. I didn't know exactly how to do it.
How has your financial health positively affected your perspective on your career and on your life choices?
Financial health, like I said before, just bleeds into every aspect of your life. It is just unbelievable. Like things such as I decided I'm going to take vacation. I'm going to take a couple days off. I just need to relax. You can go ahead and do that because maybe you'll have PTO, pay time off. Maybe you won't, that you can actually take those couple of days off without pay. But when you're stable and you have some money saved in the bank, it won't hurt you as much taking those couple of days off and taking a smaller paycheck just this one week. Or if you want a little vacation to go wherever you want to go and spend some money to do that, you can go ahead and do that. When you're financially strapped, and believe me, I understand that, you don't have the ability to do these kind of things, to give yourself a mental day, a mental health day, because I'm just going to do nothing today. I'm not going to go to work. I'm not going to make any money, but that's fine because I have a little bit saved up. It won't hurt me. It also bleeds into your actual health itself with the stressors. Like I said before, I used to stress every time I would go to the mailbox because I knew there was going to be past due letters in there. The stress of that can just bleed over into everything as well. You're you can be cranky, you can be moody, you can be scared is another perfect way to put it. And that can bleed into other aspects of your life. You can be moody towards your friends or family or your children. You just went out and got the mail and you see multiple past due bills in there. And next thing you know, you're snapping at your children because your mental health was directly affected by your financial health. It just bleeds into so many different aspects of life. Financial health bleeds into other aspects of financial health. A lot of people don't realize this as well. Like, for instance, if your credit score is everything in life. A lot of people think, oh, that means nothing. You're absolutely wrong. Your credit score, you may not be able to get electric turned on in your home if you have a bad credit score. Your interest rates are affected by your credit score. Your insurance rates, your vehicle insurance rates. A lot of people don't even realize that your vehicle insurance rates are rated by your credit score. If you have good credit score, your interest rates and everything will be lower. If you have bad, you may not even get a loan or you may not even get your electricity hooked up in your home if you get an apartment or whatever. Financial wellness bleeds into every other aspect of your life. I've said it once and I'll say it a million times because it is so very important how one little aspect of your life literally branches out to every other portion of your life, one way or the other. It may not be quite as visible to be able to see how that affects that part of your life, but if you drill down, I bet you're going to find somewhere in it where financial health affects that other portion.
Can you explain to us what credit score is and how to make it better if we don't have a good credit score?
Oh, yeah, I am very good at that. I've helped so many friends and family. When I first met my husband, we both came from bad marriages and our credit scores were horrible. I mean, like in the 500s, horrible. I just started sitting down and working with it. It is the ability, credit score is the ability to pay your bills on time, more or less. And there's three credit scores: Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. And also another wonderful thing to throw in there, by law, by federal law, you are permitted to have three free credit scores a year that you can contact these. So what I always do is every quarter or every couple of months, I'll get my free one. And then the next month I'll get my other, or the next couple of months, I'll get my free one from the next one. You're allowed to have three free ones a year. So keep that in mind and use it very wisely. Go in there and look at it. And if you see anything on there that is not you, make sure everything on there is correct. And if the things are on there that are correct, there's also ways that you can get them fixed. But the more you have on your credit, it doesn't necessarily mean it's good or bad. Everything is the strangest little ways of reading it. For your credit report, the amount of it on it doesn't always necessarily mean good or bad. Like a lot of times people will say, well, I don't have anything. I don't have any credit cards. I don't have anything. That's actually no credit at all. And that's can be worse than having bad credit because a bank or loan company or whoever will go into your credit score, go into your credit and look at your credit and see that, wow, she's never paid a bill. She doesn't have any credit cards. She has absolutely no record of paying anything. So we can't see if she's a good pay, a bad pay. We we have no idea who this person is. It's like they're handing a stranger money. So they'll oftentimes turn that down. There's three main aspects of a credit report. It's no credit, poor credit, and good credit. I already explained no credit. The next one is poor credit. Like say you have 10 credit cards, each have a $10,000 max, and each credit card has $9,000 on it. You are way over what you're supposed to have. The average that they say that you should have on you is 30% usage of your credit line. Now, if you go up to 50 or something like that, that's not too bad, but it's starting to get up into the red flags. So they try to say keep your credit under 30%. Now, if you have 10 credit cards and they're all maxed out to $9,000 or some of them are completely maxed out and you're only paying your lower limit on your credit payment, that's actually poor credit because they can see, oh, wow, this person lives off of credit and they have 95% of their credit line maxed out and they're sitting here trying to get another loan. They more than likely won't give you the loan either because they can see that literally you're financially strapped. That is showing them that you're barely making your minimum payments and you're not being able to bring your balances down. So more than likely, that's another one that they will not give the money to.
So it sounds like they're seeing that if something happens in your life, you're not going to be able to pay any of this and you're a risk.
Exactly. That is correct. They more likely some type of an accountant is going to be giving you the money at a bank, at a loan, something like that. They're going to be able to read your credit score and they're going to be able to see that this person is strapped. And if something happens, they're not going to be able to pay. But if they look at your credit report and see that you're between 30 and 50% of your usage, your minimum payment is 100, I'm just throwing round numbers here. Your minimum payment is $100 a month. You pay at least $200 a month. They see that that's extra money. Say if something would happen next month that you took a day off, well, that's fine because you have that extra $100 that you're used to paying every month. You can still pay the minimum $100 and make your payment, but you have that extra $100 that you can pull from there and put somewhere else, say rob Peter to pay Paul for a month, which you'll be fine. And that's literally is what accountants do. This needs to go here. This needs to be paid here and just dance money around. That's literally what we do for a living. We play with money.
The way to build better credit is to pay more than what the minimum is.
That is just actually wise. Never, ever, ever only pay your minimum. Because if you're paying your minimum, like I say, I'm just using round numbers here, so it's easy to calculate. Say if your minimum payment is $100, you're paying a large portion of that 50, 75% of it's going to only interest. And the rest of it, only like 25% of it's going to actually what you owe them. If you would only pay at the very bottom of each credit card, they have to put this on by federal law. If you only pay your minimum payment, it will take you X amount of years to pay this loan off. But if you pay twice your payment, it will take this long to pay off. They have to put that on each report. If you look at any credit card that you have out, that has to be on there. And that is just to show you it's open disclosure. And if you pay at least double your payment, a portion of your minimum balance plus everything that you paid in additional goes towards your principal and it will get your principal paid quicker. If you only pay the minimum due, you're only putting a couple dollars towards the principal and the rest is going to the interest. And if anybody noticed how interest rates are going, they're absolutely ridiculous right now. You want to find places that report monthly. They see that you're making these payments every single month, then they can see that and your score will start to rise. What I do, I use my credit cards for everything. It's like I just do it for the points because quite honestly, our points is what paid us to go to Spain. We use it for our air mileage and it's a free trip. But what I do is I put everything on the credit card. I don't use my paycheck. And then at the end of each month, I pay my credit card off with my paycheck because then I get all that free money. It's actually points, but I call it the free money. As long as you pay it the first month, right when you get the bill, there's no interest, absolutely no interest, but you still get all your points. We got like 1,000,000 points for that.
So it sounds like the biggest way that people can strengthen this area if they are in a deficit is really taking a look at their debt and how to pay it off as quickly as possible. Taking a really good look at interest rates on all their credit cards. Are there any other ways that they can strengthen this area?
Oh, yeah. The very first thing that you have to do is sit down and do a budget. You need to figure out exactly how much money you have coming in and write down all your bills. That's the very first thing you have to do. You have to know the incoming and the outgoing. Once you have that all in paper in front of you, you need to visually see it so that you can actually understand. You can sit there and think about it all you want, but until it's on paper in front of you, you may forget about this one or, I thought about this one, but then I forgot about it. You need to have it all down in paper in front of you. And then once you have it in paper in front of you, then you need to start cutting back. Like, what don't you need? What do you need? Look at your phone bill or something like that and see if there's something on there that you can cut down. A lot of them will charge for unlimited, but you look at your bill and you see that you don't even use 2 gigs a month. So you can cut that down, or it could actually be the exact opposite. Every single one of your bills, see what's necessary, see what isn't. Maybe you'll have something that you're paying for each month. A perfect example of that is we paid $350 a month for Comcast television. It was ridiculous. We never watched television. On a rare occasion, if we would have time to sit down and watch television, it would be something that was either DVR'd or we watched something on Netflix or whatever like that. So 1 month, I did a test on my family. I shut the cable off. Now, I still kept the internet and I even upgraded the internet. It took them 2 months to realize that we did not have television. Nobody watched it. Things like that. You have to literally look at each one of your bills, see if it's necessary, see if you can find it cheaper, or see if you can just completely eliminate it that you don't even use it.
For me, the only time I miss cable is for the Olympics, and I can watch it somewhere else now. This goes along with what you were talking about. What do you routinely do to check up on your financial wellness? And with that question is, how often do you look at all of these things that you're talking about? Every line item on your bills?
It depends on the person, but what I do is I have everything set up on auto pay that automatically charges because I know how much each bill is each month. Everything's a set amount with me. Like some bills, they can be 200 this month, 300 next month. I don't have that issue except with our electric bill, but that's still always usually in the same range. And I go in my bills twice a month. I go in on usually the 1st and the 15th, give or take a couple of days. It depends if I have some time, free time in between or whatever. But I go in, I make sure that each bill is paid. If there's could be like a red flag where, oh my God, there's too much money in this account. Why is there so much money in this account? And then I'll go in and I'll look and I'll say, oh, wow, for some reason, AT&T they didn't pull their money. And I'll contact them and say, why wasn't this pulled? The money's still sitting in my account. And they'll say, oh, there was a computer error, blah, 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 whatever. But I know exactly how much money is in that account. We have separate accounts for everything. We have our house account, which is for our bills. We do not ever touch that account. The exact amount of money goes in there that we need for our budget, our bills, plus a little bit extra for what I call the buffer. Like, say, if your electric bill is $50 extra this month because it was extra hot and your air conditioner was running extra more. That is, just say, we'll just use round numbers again. Say we have $1,900 worth of bills each month. I put $2,000 in that account. Then we each have our own personal accounts. And that is where we use our personal spending out of. That house account, you never touch for personal spending. You put your budget in there, you pay your bills, and you leave it alone. And hopefully, in a couple of months, that buffer that was in there, just in case something happened, that one bill was a little bit higher or maybe a little bit lower, you might have a couple extra $100 in that account that is just sitting there. What I always do is I grab it. It's money that we don't need, wasn't used, and I throw it in savings. It's a little extra buffer. But every month you go in there and you look, okay, all the bills are paid. There's nothing in there. Everything is taken care of. That is your first step of checking your financial health, checking it at least once a month. Make sure all your bills are paid. Make sure you have everything in order. Something didn't pop up. And then if that extra money's in that house account, transfer it out, put it into savings for a rainy day. If somebody gets sick, or if you decide you want to take a day off of work, that buffer there. The next thing to do is, like I mentioned before, you are allowed to have 3 free credit reports per year. Every 4 months, go into one of them, get your credit report, look at it, make sure everything on there is accurate. If there is something that is not accurate, like if somebody pulled your credit, say somebody tried to get a fake credit card in your name and they pulled your credit, and you can see that, oh, well, right there's a red flag. Somebody get it in there, make some phone calls quick. Somebody got a credit card in your name. That is one thing. Every 4 months, go in and check, make sure everything's accurate. If you do have something on there, say, especially over COVID, I'm sure everybody had this problem. Mail was absolutely horrible. If you got your mail, it was weeks, sometimes months late. So a lot of people, they got a medical bill. That's another one that hits your credit report almost instantly. Medical people report monthly. And a lot of them, they weren't getting the bills in the mail. So they were hitting their credit report. There's ways that you can contact them and pay the creditor. Once it goes to the credit report, you can no longer pay the actual biller, or it has to go through the credit collections person. But a lot of people will make the mistake of like, oh my God, it was a $40 bill. Here's the money. Do not do that. Whatever you do, do not do that, because that means it's going to stay on your credit report. It's going to stay either as paid in full, but it's still going to be there showing your delinquency, or you can also do a settlement. Say your bill is a hospital bill for $2,000. Can I settle for $1,800? You pay them $1,800 and they mark it settled on your credit report. That again is a red flag that scares people. What you actually want to do is you want to get it in writing. I will pay this amount if you remove it from my credit report. Get that in writing. Let them know I will pay this $2,000 bill, but I want it in writing that upon payment in full, this will be removed from my credit report. And then when you have that piece of paper in your hand that will be sent from the credit people, then you pay it. Now, say 2 months down the road, you see that they lied and they did not remove it. Well, that's what you have that piece of paper for. You can literally make 3 copies of that, send that into each credit report, and they have to, by law, remove it. Actually, removing it will help your score get better. If it's on there with a settlement or a payoff or something like that, that is a negative reflection on your credit report. But removing it is like it never happened.
Is there a way to have it removed if you have settled, or do you just have to wait for the time limit?
7 years, and except for bankruptcy. Bankruptcy is 10 years. After 7 years, they must remove it. Now, credit collections people, they're shady. They will try to do some strange stuff. And this one is very, very important. Anything that is on your credit report after 7 years, it can no longer be on your credit report. Say 10 years ago, you were young and dumb and you had a credit card and it went into default. They were chasing you for the past 5 years and you just hadn't had the money to pay it. And then all of a sudden it stopped. And then after 7 years, it has to drop off. It's no longer on your credit report. Well, all of a sudden, 10 years later, this new credit thing popped up and you're getting collections. And here it's from this credit card from 10 years ago. And they put it back on your credit report. That is illegal. They cannot do that. Everything goes by original date of delinquency. So you went originally delinquent 10 years ago, and now they're just now trying to put it back on your credit report 10 years from that date. No, they cannot do that. It goes from the original date of delinquency. And it's a shame to say, but our partners are just as responsible for our financial health as what we are, because it is a partnership. If you're being frugal and doing everything you can to make your financial health well, and your partner is doing the exact opposite, a right and a wrong does not equal out. You both need to be together on that financial travel. If you're doing everything you can to make everything great and save money and pay bills, but your significant other, heaven forbid, buying drugs or going out and buying video games or just blowing money, that's taken all your hard work. Literally, he or she is taking all your hard work and throwing it out the window. They're doing it because they're still blowing the money. It is a task that you must undergo together. And that is one thing. It was so strange when my husband first, he knew I was an accountant, and he's like, I'm horrible at money. I want you to deal with the money. Are you okay with that? And I'm like, yeah, sure, fine. So that is when I started the house account. He goes, how much money do you need me to put in there? And I gave him the dollar amount. Every single paycheck, he puts that money in there. And whatever he has left of his paycheck goes into his personal account. And I don't care what he does with that money. That's his money. It's not Bill money. He blows it. Hey, more power to you. Blow it all you want. But come the end of the week, if you're short and you don't have money for gas, that's going to teach you a lesson. But you're not touching that bill money. Keep your fingers out. And then I put my portion in, and I would pay the bills. There was times where he gave me extra. His statement was, here's money, pay the bills. I don't care what you do with the rest. And at one point in time when I wasn't working, that's how it was. Here's the money, pay the bills. I don't care what you do with the rest. That's what he said. Well, yeah, okay. You have to be able to talk about your finances and be able to set some rules and boundaries. We have one that if we want to buy something large that is out of savings, that's our money. Anything over $50, we have to talk about if it's our money. I want to buy a new dishwasher. Now that's for the house. I don't want to buy that out of my personal money because it's benefiting everybody, but it's over $50. So we have to sit down and talk about it. Okay, our dishwasher broke. It's going to cost $100 to repair it or $250 to buy a new one. If we pay the $100 to repair it, it could break again in another month, 2 months, a year. If we pay $250 now, we get a 5-year warranty with a brand new one.
Well, thank you for your time. I know we're over. Here are some of my coaching questions related to financial wellness. How do I feel when I think about my finances? What part of my financial health do I want to improve and why? How do I feel when I receive a bill? What is the current state of my finances? What can I do to protect my financial health? And then just for fun, I asked chatbot GPT for some questions, and here they are. There are quite a few, and they can give you a little bit of stress. I want you to think about why you might be feeling a little bit of stress as you read these, and what you can do to prevent some of the stress that you might be feeling. How do I ensure that I'm living within my means and spending less than I earn? What steps can I take to create a budget or financial plan that helps me reach my financial goals? How can I balance saving for emergencies with saving for long-term goals like retirement or buying a home? What strategies can I use to pay off high-interest debt, and how can I avoid accumulating more debt in the future? What types of investments align with my financial goals and risk tolerance, and how can I create a diversified investment portfolio? How often should I review and adjust my financial plan, and what factors should I consider when making changes? And Stacy talked about this part, so go back and listen if you need to. What types of insurance coverage do I need to protect myself and my family, and how can I find the most affordable and effective policies? What resources can I use to improve my financial knowledge and make informed decisions about money? I really like this one. What are some employee benefits or tax advantage savings opportunities that I might be overlooking, and how can I take advantage of them? That actually is a really important one. What are some healthy ways to manage stress and anxiety related to money, and how can I ensure that my financial situation doesn't negatively impact my mental health? That one, gold right there. All right, to summarize, thank you for joining us on this episode of Wellness in Every Season. We hope that our conversation with Stacy Litchfield, an experienced accountant with almost 30 years of experience, has been informative and enlightening. Stacy shared with us her personal journey and how financial wellness impacted her life, leading her back to work after sending her youngest off to school. We discussed the critical role of financial wellness in our lives and how neglecting it can have adverse effects on our overall well-being. Stacy provided us with valuable insights on how to improve our financial wellness and establish a budget that works for us. She also shared a personal example of regularly auditing our budgets. We hope that you take away some practical tips on how to enhance your financial wellness and to live a healthier, more fulfilling life. Stay tuned for more episodes of Wellness in Every Season as we continue to explore various topics related to wellness. Next week, we'll have another special guest discussing social wellness. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for joining our wellness discussion this week with Autumn Carter. If you liked what you heard, follow me on Instagram at Moms Wellness in Every Season to keep up with the latest wellness tips for moms. Please share the podcast love with others by sharing, subscribing, and leaving a review wherever you listen to podcasts. If you want a topic covered in more detail or a free coaching consultation, please DM me on Instagram or send an email through my website, wellnessinEverySeason.com. I look forward to connecting with you. Please join the discussion next week.